Hello, everyone. Welcome to Learn English podcast.
How to be consistent in English learning, learn English through podcast. Hello, everyone. I'm very excited to talk to you today because what I'm about to share with you is something that can truly change your life and the way you learn English forever. Because the truth is, no matter how many English books you read, no matter how many words you memorize or how many lessons you take, if you are not consistent, you will never reach fluency. And that's why today I want to talk to you about one of the most important secrets of success in English learning, the power of consistency, and how you can use something simple and enjoyable like podcasts to help you stay consistent every single day. Because podcasts are not just audio programs, they are your daily partner, your invisible teacher, and your secret weapon for building real English skills that last a lifetime. And I want you to imagine this. You wake up every morning, you put on your earphones, and while brushing your teeth, walking to school, or riding your bike, you listen to a few minutes of English. You hear real voices, real stories, and natural conversations. And at first you may not understand everything, but you start to catch words, phrases, and rhythm. And the next day you do it again, and the next, and the next. And slowly your ears and brain start to connect the sounds with meaning. And one day you realize that you no longer need to translate. You just understand. And that's the power of consistency, small daily actions that create big results over time. Because learning English is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And the ones who win are not the fastest, but the ones who never stop running. And this is where technology becomes your best friend, because podcasts are available anywhere, anytime, and they make it easier for you to stay consistent without feeling bored or pressured. The problem with most learners is not that they are not smart enough, but that they start strong for 1 week and then stop. They lose motivation when they don't see quick results. But learning English is like growing a tree. You cannot see it grow every day, but if you water it daily, it will become strong and unshakable. And podcasts are like that daily water because they feed your English naturally and gently, without stress, without fear. And that's exactly what young learners need, a simple, flexible way to learn every day, no matter where they are. Think about this. If you listen to a 15-minute English podcast every day, that's more than 90 hours of listening a year. And if you do it for 2 or 3 years, your listening, pronunciation, and speaking confidence will be on a completely different level. And all of that comes just from being consistent. Not perfect, not intense, but consistent. And this is the mindset I want you to build. Because consistency is not about doing a lot in one day. It's about doing something small every day. And podcasts make that possible because they fit into your lifestyle easily. You can listen when you're walking, cooking, studying, relaxing, even before sleeping. And the best part is your brain learns even when you're not focused, because listening activates your subconscious. And over time, your mind starts to think in English naturally. But how do you stay consistent? The first secret is to make learning enjoyable. Because when you enjoy what you do, you don't need motivation. It becomes a habit. And that's why you should choose podcasts that talk about topics you love. It could be sports, movies, technology, success stories, or even English learning tips, as long as it's something that excites you. Because if you love what you're listening to, your brain pays attention effortlessly. And this is how you trick your mind into learning more. The second secret is to set a clear routine. Maybe you listen every morning for 10 minutes before school, or every evening before bed. And the key is to make it part of your daily rhythm, like brushing your teeth or checking your phone. Because habits build consistency, and consistency builds fluency. The third secret is to track your progress. Because when you see how far you've come, you feel proud and motivated to keep going. So maybe you keep a small notebook where you write down new words or expressions you hear from podcasts. Or you record yourself speaking once a week to hear how your pronunciation improves. And soon you'll see that what seemed impossible is now part of your life. Technology also helps you stay consistent because you can subscribe to podcast apps like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts, and they can remind you automatically when a new episode comes out. So learning becomes effortless, and all you have to do is press play. Now, I know that as a young learner, it's easy to get distracted. Social media, games, friends, and so many things fight for your attention. But if you want to be different, if you truly want to master English and open more doors in your life, you must learn to control your time and use technology wisely. Because the same phone that can waste your time can also make you fluent, and it all depends on your choice. So instead of scrolling for hours on TikTok or YouTube, choose to listen to one English podcast. And that small decision, repeated every day, will make you extraordinary, because consistency is what separates dreamers from achievers. Think about how babies learn their first language. They listen every day, they repeat what they hear, and they never stop listening. And that's exactly what podcasts help you do, to immerse yourself in real English daily. And when you listen to real English every day, you also learn culture, pronunciation, rhythm, emotion, and confidence. Because English is not just grammar, it's music, energy, and flow. And podcasts give you all of that naturally. The more you listen, the more your brain understands how real people speak, where they pause, how they stress words, and this helps you sound more natural when you speak. And young people have an advantage because your brain is flexible, your memory is fast, and your ears can adapt easily to new sounds. So if you stay consistent now, your English will become your superpower in the future. But here's something most learners forget. Consistency is not about being perfect. It's about never giving up. And some days you'll feel lazy, tired, or busy, but even on those days, just do something small. Maybe listen to 5 minutes of a podcast, and that's enough to keep the chain unbroken. Because when you stop completely, it's hard to start again. But if you keep doing a little, you keep the habit alive. And this is how great learners are made, by doing small things again and again without quitting. I want you to remember this. Fluency doesn't come from intensity. It comes from consistency, because your brain learns better with repetition over time than with one long session once a week. You could study for 5 hours on Sunday and forget half of it by Monday. But if you studied 20 minutes every day, your brain keeps the knowledge fresh, connected, and alive. And podcasts are perfect for that kind of daily practice. So let's talk about how to use podcasts effectively. When you listen, don't worry about understanding everything. Focus on the general meaning and let your ears get used to the sound of English, because over time, your brain will fill in the gaps naturally. And when you hear a word you don't know, write it down and look it up later. But don't stop the audio too often. Just keep listening, because listening is about rhythm, not perfection. You can also repeat phrases you like out loud. This is called shadowing, and it's one of the best ways to improve your pronunciation and confidence, because when you mimic the speaker's tone and rhythm, you train your mouth and ears at the same time. And it's fun too. You can even pretend you're part of the podcast, answer questions, or comment on what they say as if you're in the conversation, because this builds fluency and helps you think in English faster. Now, here's another secret. When you listen to podcasts, try to connect what you hear to your daily life. For example, if the podcast talks about travel, imagine yourself traveling. Use those words when you think about your next trip. Or if they talk about goals, apply the advice to your own goals. Because when English becomes personal, it becomes unforgettable. You should also mix listening with other activities like reading an article or watching a short video about the same topic, because that will strengthen your vocabulary and comprehension from different angles. And if you want to take your English to the next level, record your own mini podcast. Yes, you can. Just talk about your day in English for a few minutes, record it, and listen to yourself. You'll notice where you can improve, and the more you do this, the faster your progress will be.
Remember, learning English is not something you finish, it's something you live with. And podcasts make a part of your life without stress, without rules, and without fear. And that's why they're so powerful for young learners like you. Technology has given you everything you need: free podcasts, smart devices, online communities. But technology alone won't make you fluent. Your consistency will. So promise yourself today that you will listen to English every day, even if it's just a few minutes, because those few minutes, repeated daily, will transform your future. The difference between those who speak English fluently and those who don't is not talent, it's consistency. And once you understand that, you have already unlocked the secret. So, to wrap up everything we've talked about today, I want you to remember this. Consistency is the ultimate key to mastering English. And podcasts are one of the easiest, most fun, and most effective ways to help you stay consistent every single day, because they allow you to listen, learn, and practice anywhere, anytime, without pressure, and even when you feel tired, busy, or distracted. Just a few minutes of listening will keep your habit alive and your progress moving forward. And the most important lesson here is that small, daily actions repeated over time create extraordinary results. So don't wait for motivation to strike or for the perfect moment. Start today. Pick your favorite podcast, press play, and commit to listening every day, even if it's only for a few minutes. Because every word you hear, every phrase you repeat, and every story you understand brings you one step closer to fluency, one step closer to confidence, and one step closer to the future you dream of. And I want you to believe this deeply. Your English skills are not limited by your age, location, or school. They are only limited by the consistency of your effort. So use technology wisely. Embrace podcasts as your daily teacher, stay disciplined, be patient, and never give up. Because if you do this, you will not only improve your English, but also build habits that will help you succeed in everything you do. And one day, when you look back, you will be amazed at how far those small daily actions carried you. And you will thank yourself for starting now, being consistent, and believing in the power of learning every single day.